Bienvenue. I'm Benvenu. And if you get the reference there, then good on ya. Welcome back to Benvenue's Corner, and today I'm going to be introducing my offense. Previous episodes, you know the deal. I've gone through the history, introduced you to the coach, and now it's time to introduce you to the players in question. If the music's too loud, forgive me. I am experimenting with background music so that it's not just dead air behind me, so that you're not bored to death while you're listening to my voice. So let's get to the team, and we're going to start with the captain of the team, or the general of the team. Going to be the quarterback position, which is second-year man Kiefer Byrne, who was a first-round draft pick last year. And before I took over the team, and this is what I'd like to see when I looked at this team, I was like, okay, I don't need to draft a franchise quarterback necessarily, because I think Kiefer, with some work, might be able to get there. You can see his stats here. He's not fast, but he's not slow either. He's not a scrambling quarterback. I believe he's balanced. He doesn't take off and run that much. When he does, he only gets about maybe a yard or two. I'm not expecting him to break big runs for me. I don't want him doing that. He's got enough mobility where he can move around in the pocket a little bit and get out of trouble. Doesn't have the strongest arm in the world, but I think with some time, he can progress and get that up. But what he does have is a very accurate arm in the short and intermediate range. He struggles a little bit in the deep accuracy. That will show up in the games. I've tried to adjust the playbook to him so that we're not taking those deep shots down the field and trying to do it with play action, which just wasn't working. I want him attacking short, intermediate. Okay, take your chance when it's there, deep if you can get it. So I like what I've seen from him. He has struggled a little bit with interceptions and sacks. His first season, you can see 3,500 yards, 22 touchdowns. That's not bad for a rookie quarterback, but those 16 interceptions are a little high. The completion percentage, pretty good for a rookie. I wanted to see improvement, and I am seeing that somewhat. The touchdown to interception ratio is still not that great. Completion percentage is up. Sacks are alarming, but it's a work in progress. He had a horrendous offensive line when I inherited the team. I have rebuilt it to the best of my ability through the draft and some free agent acquisitions, and we're just seeing where things work. A lot of those sacks came off of those play action passes that I was talking about. I have since adjusted my playbook to remove those, so I am looking to see that number not jump up that much. And it's also why some of my offensive linemen have let up a lot of sacks. It's because they're getting that scripted animation for sacks. Backing him up, believe it or not, I found this quarterback on the free agent market after the big free agency period. 36 years old and a 69 overall. You're looking at that and like, well, what's so special about him? Well, he is a superstar X-player. And I know he's lost some of his abilities as he's aged, but he's very intelligent, and he has a very accurate arm as well. Throwing power, yeah, he's losing the power in the arm there, but he makes up for it with his awareness. And when I played him in the preseason, he did exactly what I expected him to do. He took control of the team, settled things down, got rid of the ball when he was supposed to, either by throwing it away and not taking a big sack, because you can see he's not the most mobile guy in the world. And he just makes plays, consistent. And he can serve as a mentor to Kiefer here, which is what he needs. And it was just right player, right situation. I almost feel guilty by having him ride the bench, because this guy, as soon as he was handed the reins to an offense, you can see by the numbers there, yeah, he struggled his first season with the interceptions, but his very next year, look at that production. And he seemed to age like fine wine. Almost 4,000 yards there, almost 5,000 yards 2 years in a row, 41 touchdowns. Now he's on my team as the backup. Different situation, if I was gunning for a championship, maybe I would go with him, but I am rebuilding. He's 36 years old. His best days are behind him. He's only going to get worse as far as physical traits go. How he performs on the field, not so sure. But I feel if I need to turn the reins over to somebody, if something should happen for Kiefer Byrne, I'm in good hands with Jeffrey Madsen. So I'm glad he was available in free agency, and I picked him up. At the halfback position is Dalton Triplett. He is my workhorse. He has struggled to really have a breakout season. He's got the speed, he's got elusive, he's got the vision, he's got carrying. He doesn't fumble that much. He doesn't break a lot of tackles. He jukes out a few people. But what I have noticed when I was looking at the team earlier is that he's not the problem. It's not him being silly and trying to make crazy moves in the backfield and losing. It's his blocking is breaking down. The fullback on this team is not fast enough to get out in front. His lineman at the time did not pull well, and he's having a tremendous season so far this year. But let's go over what he's done. As you can see, 900 yards, 800 yards, 900 yards, over 1,000 yards with 10 touchdowns. So yeah, he did break out last year, but look at that yards per carry. That's less than desirable. I've changed the offensive scheme around, brought in new offensive linemen. That yards per carry is way up. He's currently second in the league in rushing yardage. Those touchdowns aren't great. And again, that went to the previous offensive scheme where we would move the ball down the field, get it inside the red zone, and then silly play calls, incomplete passes, lacks of concentration, and we just don't score the football. And that's got to change. I believe it will change. He had 1 touchdown heading into last week's game, and he had 2 last game with his huge 86-yard run for one of them. So I believe good things are on the horizon for him. The backups are all added players. I did not have this depth here when I got this team. Tyson Kerr was a 4th-round draft pick. I just liked his combine, his speed. Again, he is as close to a carbon copy as I could get to Triplett in this offense. He's not a day one starter just because the vision isn't there, but he's got a hidden dev. He's younger. Dalton Triplett's starting to get to that age where he's not going to be progressing as much, and he's going to start going downhill. And maybe when that happens, Tyson Kerr will be the man that can step in and take over the reins. That's the plan anyway. Stackhouse, I didn't have originally on the team. I think he was a week 3 or 4 pickup from free agency. Not really using him as a go-to running back. He is a 3rd down back exclusively. And I also use him in the slot because of his one particular skill, his hands. 82. And when I show you my receivers, you'll see that is, I believe, the 2nd best catching rating on the team. So in the slot, with his speed, his agility, the way he moves, he's shifty, he's creating mismatches, and he gets open for my quarterback, and he needs all the safety valves he can get, so that's why he's on the team. Mikell was an undrafted free agent. I didn't have a solid bulldozer-type running back. I found him on the free agent market. I was like, okay, we'll give him a shot. He's got normal dev, so again, I just needed depth. Something I didn't have on the team was a power back, short yardage guy. I don't know if he's that guy going forward. He's not getting many opportunities in the offense this season so far. I have made an effort to play him in the last game in the blowout and get him some carries, and he performed pretty well. But I'm not expecting huge things from him. I only need him to get those 1 yard, 2 yard gains when I really need them, and I have him as my short yardage power back. At fullback, I already said, Terrence Durham, he does have some good blocking numbers. Lead blocking especially, that's great lead blocking. Impact blocking, not so great. Run blocking, not terrible. But what is really, I think, the problem here with him is the speed. A high 70s for this team just isn't getting it done. If I had a slower power back, this might be perfect. But with my speed guys, when he is on the field, he's just not getting out there in front and getting to the blocks when he needs to, and that's when plays start breaking down. So I'm going to be looking for a different option here to see if I can improve that. At wide receiver, I have my main man, Perry Wood here, who is another first-round high draft pick. And you're going to notice a trend with this team is that all of the stars that they have on this team were drafted year after year within the top 5. And what does that tell you about this team? They weren't doing so well. So they might have hit home runs with their first pick, but after that, they didn't supplement the draft with good players following that, because you hit these home runs with players like this, you should be winning, and this team just isn't. So Perry Wood is not the fastest receiver in the world, but he is strong, he is big, he has insane jumping and catching traffic skills. His hands are very good. He releases well. He's a beast. He will go up and get everything. He will break through tackles. He had a huge catch in the last game, an 86-yard romp, where he just beat a safety and took off running and got enough of a lead in front of anybody so that they couldn't catch him. My number 2 wide receiver is the veteran B.J. Sullivan. Not going to wow you with that speed or agility, but he's a reliable guy. A get what he can kind of guy. You can go to him in short yardage. He'll pick up the 5, 6, 7 yards, whatever you need. Ronell Battles is in his final year. He's 31, and I am not using him right now. Yeah, his numbers are fairly good as far as catching and everything goes, but he is not the future. Donnell White and Parrish McCarthy. I drafted Parrish McCarthy, I believe, in the 4th or 5th round. I liked his speed. He's got decent hands, but he needs time to develop. He's not ready to start right now. So I'm working him in the offense. He's the number 3 receiver, and sometimes you will see him in the slot when Stackhouse is not in there. Posey was just an undrafted free agent. I was looking for some depth. He also has hidden development, so I don't know what his development is. It could be star, it could be more, I don't know. Not getting a lot of playing time. He is a returner, sort of. I mean, he's not bad. I could use him, but Kerr is my main return man, the second running back. He is, I just believe a better returner. At tight end, I have Big Mick McCarthy, and he was a free agent pickup. He was sitting there on a free agency, and I like his speed, the acceleration, the agility. Hands could be better, but he does have the spec catch, the catch in traffic. The route running is a little better. He's a slightly better blocker, better release off the line. Tyler Ramsey was an undrafted free agent that the team picked up before I got here. Better speed, better acceleration, but that agility, when I saw him play in preseason, was just causing he wasn't cutting right and getting to the ball on time, which was leading to a lot of drops, a lot of mistakes from the quarterback. The team just seems to move better with McCarthy, and that's what I was looking for. Tyler Ramsey's also not that great of a blocker. Josh Cantwell is just depth. He's, I believe, a plug-and-play. If I need him, he'll be there for me, and he'll do a good job. Ultimately, I want to get somebody that's maybe more suited as a better blocker for those goal line situations, but it is what it is at this point. As far as the offensive line goes, none of these guys were here last year. Every single one of these guys is either in a free agent pickup or a draft pick. So at left tackle, I have C.J. Radovich. Not going to wow you. He just does his job. Backing him up is Xavius Byram. Again, just a body. I mentioned Jacob Reid before in my previous episode. Excuse me while I lose my train of thought. And you'll notice a trend with my guys. I like athleticism to a degree. You don't need it as much at the tackle position. I agree with Jacob Reid's assessment there. Radovich doesn't have the strength that I would like, but he is my best pass blocking option. And he can move a little bit, which is kind of important when you're going up against the speed rushers. Your tackles have to be able to move a little bit, but it's more important for the guards to be able to move. And Harper is the backup. I am starting the youngster Matthew Hardy. I could slam a tornado. WWE fans might get that reference. But as you can see, Hardy has better speed, better acceleration, better agility. These guards in my offense, and most offenses, they're going to be in motion. They have to lead block. They have to pull. So they're going to have to be able to move a little bit. That's something that Jacob Reid was stressing. I never really had thought about that much before, but it makes a lot of sense to me. If you're a great blocker, that's good, but if you've got no speed and you can't get to where you need to be, it's just like my fullback. If you can't get to the spot when you're supposed to and block that guy, it could lead to a bad broken play, and that's what I was seeing a lot of before I moved Hardy into the starting role. Harper just wasn't getting it done. The center here, Kevin Crockett, was actually a guard that I moved to center, and yeah, because you don't normally see 350-pound centers, but I liked his blocking numbers. but you'll see he's not as athletic as my other guards, and he would not survive as a guard. I put him at center because Jacob Reid, I agree with him. The center has usually got his man right in front of him. He's either lined up on a D tackle or a nose tackle most of the time, and he's not the one that's got to move around and block people. His man's right on top of him. So better blocking, better strength. Not so much. I would like probably better agility here. But so far, Kevin Crockett, he is, you can see he's a superstar. I got lucky on that pick. I found him in the later draft, and there's a little trick I might reveal a little bit later. If you think I'm cheating, I'm not. There's a little meta for drafting offensive linemen, and I think it's well known now in Madden 20, and it probably still works in Madden 21. Gibson, I picked up on the free agents market. I just needed a backup. At right guard, I have the veteran Seth Costanzo and the rookie Milton Katz. I wanted Milton Katz to start. Obviously, he's a 70 overall and a rookie, but you'll see he doesn't have the speed I need. He doesn't have the agility, and it was the same problem like the other guard and the fullback. He just couldn't get to the point of attack and make the block when he needed to. So I had to give the reins to Seth Costanzo, and the offense improved. I would like a little bit more agility and a little bit more speed here, maybe looking more towards 75 range there, but he's doing a good job for me. And at right tackle, I have the rookie Sean Beadle starting with undrafted free agent Shaquem Wagner. He was on the free agent market. I have no idea why. I think he's a pretty good player, only normal dev, but again, athletic guy, got pretty good strength, decent blocking numbers. He's a better pass blocker than Beatles. Beatles the better run blocker, but I drafted Beatles myself. Let's see, does he... Yeah, he's normal dev, so, you know, it's just luck of the draw as far as the dev traits for offensive linemen. You generally don't see stories about them unless they're like the way top picks, like the number one or within the top 5. You might see those draft stories, which you should be paying attention to if you're not, because it's not 100% surefire, but generally when you see those larger stories, that means that guy has a better chance of having a hidden dev trait. It's not a lock, it just means he's got a better chance of having it. And the smaller stories generally mean you could look out for things like, oh, this guy is injury prone. Well, you might not want that guy because he's got to stay on the field. Or this guy's improving his draft stock. He might be raising in the draft. He might have been projected to go 5th, now he's projected to go 3rd, something along those lines. That's what those things generally mean. So it's important to pay attention to that because it can help you determine who might have superstar traits. As far as offensive linemen go, the meta basically is go into the draft board, look for the guys late in the season when the combines stats are revealed, and look for the guys with the insane combines down at the lower draft order, 4th, 5th, even undrafted guys. You'll see like high 6s and maybe even 7s for combines for offensive linemen. Those guys are probably going to be fairly highly rated guys. They may not be superstar or star development or anything like that, but you know, this is a perfect guy that, you know, if I don't need him to start, he'd be great depth for me. So that's the meta on offensive lineman drafting in Madden 20 anyway, and I'm pretty sure it still works for Madden 21, but Jacob Reid has information with that on his stream, his YouTube channel, which you'll find links in the description for that, the RFL, and MrHurricane, who was my inspiration for getting to where I am right now and trying this. So that is the offense for the Sentinels. The next video, I'm going to be introducing the defense and probably special teams. So again, thank you for joining me. I hope you're having a great day. You all take care there. Stay happy and healthy. Thank you for joining me. Be well.